Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Live Team Alliance training session for Tuesday, August 13th. The time right now is approximately 9:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is August 13th of 2019. Before we get started with training for tonight, as usual, I would like to welcome our new students, those of you who are joining us in training for the first time. Whether you're here live with us or you're watching the replay of this, you have definitely made a wise decision choosing to train here with us. There's going to be a great deal of information that is going to be thrown your way with regard to the market. It is very comprehensive. It's easy to understand when you just train and allow the knowledge and the information to sink into you. But more importantly than understanding how to navigate the market and interpret the information that the market provides us with is learning how to navigate yourself. And this is what the market is very well with helping us with. The market is like a mirror, and it really shows us who we are, what we're made of. It's going to very quickly reveal to us the levels of patience and discipline that we lack. Not that we have. It's going to show us where we're lacking. The great part about that is you're in the right place to rectify it. So when you realize that you don't have patience and you don't have discipline yet, and that your focus is probably not what it needs to be as of yet, you are in the perfect place in order to adjust those things, and ultimately you're going to develop the skill set, which includes patience, discipline, and focus, because they are necessary components of being able to trade successfully over the long term. We're very blessed to have a platform such as Nadex. This is the platform that we're looking at right now. Nadex is an exchange where those of us who are familiar with the environment, the behavior of the market, how it moves, those of us who understand how to navigate that information, can utilize the instruments available on this particular platform, which specifically are called 5-minute binaries. We're blessed to be able to utilize this instrument to capitalize on our knowledge of the market. So in other words, what you're learning to do is to navigate the market. You're learning how to interpret, you're learning how to read it, and you're learning how to use that information to position yourself within profitable trades that the market will provide you with. Okay, so you're really not learning how to trade. What you're doing is taking advantage of the instruments available on this platform, these 5-minute binaries. We're going to use those instruments to capitalize on our understanding of the market itself. On this platform right now, the market that we're looking at is the GBP/USD, which is commonly referred to as cable, or the pound dollar, or the pound sterling. Has a bunch of different names in the Forex world, but basically is the Great British Pound versus the USD, or the US dollar, which is a currency pair. And this particular currency pair represents the underlying market that we are watching, okay, that we are studying, that we are observing. The reason that we watch one market is because we need to familiarize ourselves with the nuances of the behavior of the market that we're watching. And you cannot do that with efficiency if you attempt to do it with more than one market at a time. So for that reason, we only watch one market at a time. For us, it happens to be the pound dollar. For you personally, it may be a different one. And whatever one it is, that's fine. My strong recommendation is that it's only one, however. Only stick to one market. Don't try to hop around, jump around, move around. Okay? There's no need to. Just focus on your market and use the framework that you're going to be trained to execute to apply on the market that you have decided to study. Okay? Those of you who are new students, inside of the playlist that I shared with you, videos number 336, number 396, and number 301. Those are the trainings that I want you to begin with. Once you get to 301, from that point forward, you need to have that training in particular on repeat every single day. Whether you're watching the video, laptop, tablet, on your phone, or you're listening to it. Whatever you're available to do at the time, get yourself a pair of earbuds, get yourself something that's going to allow you to focus on that information, and just do it every day, on repeat. Okay? I know you're wondering why I'm telling you that. Don't worry about it right now. Just do it. Earbuds, bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, wherever you are. Press play and just listen, even if you're doing something else at the time. This is part of the training process. It's called subconscious training. The reason that you need to do that is because this is how at a later time you will get light bulb moments. You're going to understand things and you're not going to know why. And it's because of this process within the training that we do. We need to bypass your conscious brain. Your regular brain does not understand the majority of what you're going to be introduced to. So we need to bypass your surface brain and get to the subconscious level of your mind. That's where the information is going to be recorded. And as that information is being recorded, it will be available to be pulled from at a later date, at a later time, once your conscious mind is ready to receive it. Okay? So this is a very powerful and a very intense training that you have become part of. And you're really part of a culture and a family now that you're in Team Alliance. This is something that really is going to be the case pretty much for life. Even people that try to get away and they might leave, they find their way back. It's a vibration that we're on, that we're all attached to and connected to. And you just can't shake it loose, because the bottom line is that we're all in search of the same thing. We're all looking to achieve freedom. And in order to do that, you have to be conditioned with a certain skill set. That's the skill set that we teach here. Okay, so you'll find this is not just about the market. This is about you. This is about you being able to apply skill, you being able to execute and rinse and repeat, apply process over and over again. You see? So the training process is how you get it. That's how you acquire it. The execution process, that's going to come from you because you're conditioned to do it. You see? So this is very, very powerful. This is not a normal, training. This is really like another level of training that we do. And there's a reason for everything that we do and everything that we have going on. So if you have questions, I encourage you to ask your questions, whether they're related to the market, related to, something that you heard in 301 or another training, something that you don't understand, whatever the question might be, ask your question. Okay, you can put your question in the chat that you see on the free conference call software, and I will make sure that I'm going to get to your question. All right, so I encourage you to ask questions as we're training this evening. So we're actually going to continue to move on what I went into more detail with yesterday, and I actually began a series that I'm going to focus on for the next few trainings, which is the duration of the positioning of the market. Now, for those of you who are new, I'm sure that you're not going to understand what I'm talking about yet, but things will begin to make sense as you continue to watch 301, because you're going to begin to understand the framework of what it is that we're doing in the market. It's very simple. There are basically three phases of the framework that we're waiting for. The first phase is for the market to slow down. That's it. That's what we call environment. If you actually look at the market right now, the market is slow right now. Look at how it's moving. It's in a slow environment. Now, once the market slows down, we begin to position ourselves to actually look at how it's moving. Just think about it in terms of the physical world, in terms of physics. When something slows down, it gives you the opportunity to see it with your naked eye. The faster it moves, the more difficult it is to see. It's the same principle with the market. When the price slows down, in other words, when this price that you see here on the chart, it's also displayed up here where it says indicative price, that number. When you see that number not moving by, multiple micro pips, and the micro pip is simply the last digit. You see how right now it's at 76? That 6, it just went to 5. Then it went back to 6. It's going to move again. Let's see where it moves to. Still at 6, back to 5. So you can see that the movement is only moving 1 micropip at a time. That right there is letting us know that the market is in a slow condition. So now we can actually look at how that price moves. We're going to be able to interpret how is it moving. In other words, is it moving into a position and remaining there? Or is it moving and then moving back to where it's coming from? What's the behavior? You see? So these specific things are what the framework is built around. Environment, the behavior, which is what we just described. How is the price moving? Environment is how fast is the price moving. We know that we needed to slow down so that we can put the microscope on the behavior and see how the behavior really is. Once we see that the behavior is basically one where the market moves and is remaining wherever it moves to, that's what we refer to as move and hold. Now, that's a specific behavior that we look for, that we wait for. That applies within the context of the 5-minute binary. It applies most importantly at the end of the binary, because the end of the binary is when the decision is made for the whole option. So even though it's a 5-minute binary, the winner is decided during the last minute, period. It doesn't matter what the market did before that. Whatever it's doing in that last minute is going to decide who wins and who loses the trade, period. So for that reason, within our framework, looking at behavior is exactly what it is that we need to be doing during the last minute of the binary. That's why it applies during the last minute, because that's the most important time out of the whole 5 minutes. So as you're putting this together in your head, what you're doing is you're beginning to realize that this all boils down to timing. So if you kind of look at how the market moves, see what you're used to seeing, probably if you came from Forex, you're used to looking at the market like, oh, look at this, we got a nice uptrend here. Uptrend. Now mind you, the way we look at the market, we don't care anything about the direction. It's how the price is moving in the direction that it's moving. It's not just about the direction. As a matter of fact, it ain't about the direction at all, because the market can change direction within the same binary. It might be in an uptrend, but when it positions itself, it could be doing what you see it do now. Look at how it came down. What's to stop it from coming down underneath this line? So if you did something as silly as buying this option on the basis of this market being in an uptrend, you would be positioning yourself to potentially lose, because there's way too much time left on this clock. Remember, the most important time out the whole 5 minutes is the last minute. We still got 2.5 minutes left. Market could do a lot in that time. I'm giving you examples and reasons why we don't just try to pick trades, because you can't do that successfully or with any level of consistency at all. You would have to be good at predicting the market And no one can predict the market. Nobody here is Houdini. We don't have any magicians. Nobody got a crystal ball. If that was the case, then people would be winning all the time. But people are not winning all the time, are they? In fact, they're losing most of the time. So you can understand the dynamic of what we're really dealing with. We're really dealing with behavior, how price is moving. We're dealing with the environment, how fast is the price moving. And when those two things are cohesive, we're able to decipher and to recognize the environment and the behavior when they are in sync. And when they're synced up together, that produces the right timing in the market. That's the framework that you're learning. So you're learning really, in essence, how to avoid losing situations. You see? Like, listen to the terminology that I'm using. Avoid. I thought I was here to learn how to trade. No, you're not. Sorry. That's not what you're here for. You want to learn how to trade, just look at a tutorial video. It'll tell you how to trade. Oh, you want to buy it? You can buy the option. You want to sell it? You can sell it. They got to stay underneath to win. You bought it, they got to stay above the line to win. It's only two options. You either buy or you sell. You either right or you're wrong. You already know how to trade. It's not trading that's the problem, is it? How can you win consistently? That's the question. Why do you lose a trade? If you bought, and at the time that you purchased, the price was above a line, but by the time the option expired, it was below, what the hell happened? Why didn't you see that the market was going to do that? What were you missing? What caused you to not see that? That's where we need to be. We need to be studying the market. You see, so that's what we do here. So for that reason, what you're really learning to do is to interpret the market and then use the information to stay out. Huh? I thought we were here to trade. No, we're here to win trades. We're not here to trade. We're not going to trade unless we win. How can you say that, Mark? Oh my gosh. That's what it is. Like, I don't understand what you thought it was, before you got here. What got you here? You saw a video of me taking a trade or me winning a trade? That's the point I'm making. So there's a reason that I win the trades that I take. And you're here to learn and to understand the mechanics behind that. So anyway, I like to go into that because it really gives more detail and more context to what it is that you're really doing here. And it will prevent you from making terrible mistakes and creating horrible habits. The little spiel that I just went through is going to help you to avoid doing that. It is not worth it to create bad habits. Don't come in here trying to, you in phase 3 learning the parameters and you thinking that that's it, that's all you have to do. No. The parameters are there to isolate a valid trade, but you need to do that at the right time. Well, Mark, this looked like a good trade. The trade did look good, but what happened to it? Environment happened to it. Behavior happened to it. And if you did a poor job of interpreting that, that's going to be the reason why you'll lose that trade. And in actuality, you probably missed out on something anyway when you applied the parameters anyway. There's something that you didn't see because you were so thirsty and anxious to get into a trade. So that's why we don't do the process that way. It doesn't start at phase 3. It starts at phase 1. What's the first phase? Environment. What environment are you in? Well, market is actually moving too fast. All right, so we're going to stay right here in phase 1 until it slows down. It's very simple. Very simple. So actually what I'm going to cover tonight is just another way to be able to isolate when the market slows down. It's very interesting how all of the tools that we use, all of them lead us to the same place. Or every single one of them. I don't care which one you decide to use. It's going to lead you back to the protocol every single time. every time. So for you to think that a tool is different or separate or isolated from the protocol, you would be, greatly mistaken by assuming that. That's not the case. The tools make the protocol proven. Everything that we do and that we utilize as a tool proves that the protocol is true. Every one of them. You could be doing the option pricing exercise. If you're doing OPE, option pricing is telling you literally everything about the environment. Literally. You could just look at the pricing and you'll know. I could take the chart off. You could just look at pricing. I can move the indicative out the way and all of that. And you'll be able to interpret the market. Because that's how we utilize all of the tools on the platform. You could just look at this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it real quick because we haven't done this in a while. We're going to do the OPE right now. And through OPE, you'll know if there's stability present or not. You'll know what direction the market is actually in. Like right now, we know that the 2049 strike is in play, and we know that there is instability. There is no stability right now. The market, look at that. Look at what your pricing is doing. It's flashing in and out. Now the pricing is above the 2049 level, and there probably has speed in the market. And I'm not even looking at the market, and I know that. I ain't even looking at it, and I know that. And I knew that there was instability as well, just by looking at the option pricing. So that's an example of a tool that we use. Now, when I come back to the chart, watch how the chart looks. The level was 2049, right? Watch. Look at this. Didn't I say that the price was above 2049? Didn't I say that there was speed? How did I know that? OPE. So just the fact that you can identify what the market is doing with any tool is remarkable. That is remarkable. It means that you can utilize whatever tool you want to, and it's always going to bring you full circle back to the beginning, the protocol. Every time. Well, Mark, was that a trade? Hell no, that was not a trade. Hell no. We're not trying to, remember, we're not looking for trades. We are not looking for trades. Trades are going to come to us when the market is in position and the market is presenting the environment and behavior that will lead to a trade coming to us. So the environment and the behavior come first. Then a trade comes. I don't care what tool you use. Doesn't matter. Let me move this back over. So that's one example. Another example, we can study indicative price. We can just look at the market. No chart. Oh, we're going to look at the market without the chart, but we need the chart. No, we don't. This is the market. You can tell whether there's speed. You're going to be able to determine what the candle will look like. You'll know what color it's going to be, how big it is. You'll know if it has a wick on the top or on the bottom. You'll know what the shape and the size of the candle and everything looks like just by looking at the price of the market. Now, you're telling me that that's not a higher level of skill? This is why we win. We understand how to do everything that's relevant. We're utilizing tools that nobody else does. Anybody on this platform that is looking for a good risk reward during the time when the environment and behavior lines up for us, they're going to lose their money to us. Because they're thinking that they're going to be able to get away with getting into an awesome risk reward trade. Oh, I got a 1 to 4 risk reward. Yeah, well, you're going to give up that one. You risking one. Every time you risk one with me, I got you. Thank you. This is what happens. And all of this, because of our patience and our discipline, comes to us. We're not going to have to look for no trades. All you got to do is wait for the market to position itself, wait for the market to present the environment and the behavior, and it's going to come. We have something called MRMH. MRMH is permission. Once you get permission and the market provides follow-through trades that's set up at the time, basically that means the market is presenting clusters of trades when the timing in the market is right. So there's really no such thing as a good trade. What it is that there's good timing. And then there's all other timing that ain't good. So if you took a good trade at the wrong time, you could potentially lose that trade. I'd rather you take a horrible trade at the right time. People ask me all the time about, oh, well, Mark, you know, what about the skill trades? What I'm calling a skill trade is my ability to navigate at the right time in the market. That's all it is. You're wondering why the trade wins. The trade wins because it's the right time. Well, Mark, that one didn't meet parameters. Guess what? I did meet parameters because the timing was right. See, that's a whole nother level of thinking. And I don't want to confuse you because I don't want you thinking that, you know, you should be doing that. No. If you're doing AKA skill trades, you're actually doing the framework. You're doing it. The bottom line is the time right? That's the question. Remember, no such thing as a good trade. So what if you apply parameters, but you didn't do a good job of identifying the right environment and behavior? Then what? What happens? And then you see the market whip on you, and you're like, oh man, what happened? That was a good trade. No, we don't pick good trades. You didn't do your diligence, obviously, and the time that you selected the trade was the wrong one. And that's what makes you vulnerable to losing, because your timing is off. So if you notice, everything that we do is to isolate the right timing. Every tool that we use helps us to isolate the right timing in the market. Environment and behavior need to be cohesive. Either a trade sets up during that time because the market positions itself, or it don't. That's it. Like, there's no in between. It either sets up for us or it doesn't. There's plenty of times when the market presents the right timing and no trades come. Plenty of times. Plenty of times. So understand, you know, the dynamic of what you're really dealing with. You're dealing with the ability to identify timing properly. As long as you're able to do that, you ain't never going to lose. You're just not going to lose anymore. You're going to stop losing. And stopping losing is the first step to winning. Because now that means that you don't have to try to recover. You don't have to deal with the emotional aspect of taking the loss. Oh, man. Dag, man. I had a nice streak going. Then I got careless. Don't get careless. You're being trained and conditioned to not be careless. That's the purpose of training. Everything is repetitive on purpose. Ramal keeps saying the same thing all the time. What else am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to say something different? You should be doing the same thing all the time. Well, Mark, what if no trades come all week? So what? You got to have the so what mentality, not the what if mentality. This is, see, now here we're going into the next dimension of the training, the mindset. And this is probably even bigger than the framework. Matter of fact, it is bigger. Not even probably. Your mindset is bigger than the framework. Because with the right mindset, it keeps you in line with the framework. With the wrong mindset, you're going to deviate from the framework. You see how that goes? So the mindset is where it is. That's everything. And this is the difference. This is how you know who's training and who's not training the way that they should be. And there's nothing wrong with if you're not training that level yet, but you should be striving for getting to the point where you train at that level. I keep telling you, you should be getting in trouble for training. It shouldn't be all sweet in your house. Your wife ain't mad at you yet? She should be upset with you. Like, it sounds funny, but I'm serious. Your boyfriend should be mad. Man, why you got them earbuds in your ear? Tell him to mind his business. You should have an argument because of how you train. Mark is crazy. You telling me to? No, I'm telling you what's going to happen because of how the level of training that's going to take you to where you're trying to get to. Like, if you're telling me that you want freedom, yes? Is that what you want? Freedom has a price. This right here is going to give it to you. And this becomes easy to do. Let me come back. Adam said, I hear the same thing at church too every week, but it needs to be that way. What's told to me needs to become me. Come on, church. Let's say amen. Dan said, my wife just looked at me. You're not watching this with me? One earbud in. Yes, Dad. Yes. Yes, Stella, I got you, baby. I'm watching the Netflix with you. I'm over here, too, though. That's how you do it. Yeah, Sinjin 301 on loop. Come on, man. Come on. Like, when you see people successful at something, can you imagine what they'd be doing behind the scenes? Yes, you have made it, Dan. Yes. Celebration time. Yes. Come on, man. All right, so we're I'm still waiting right now. The market is actually kind of doing too much. I'm waiting for it to slow down so we can look at the positioning and actually to like kind of dig into that more tonight. Started doing it yesterday. That was the first one in this series in last night's training. Tonight we're going to continue to elaborate on it and just dig into it a little deeper. But the market positioning is a reflection of the macro. You guys will hear me use this terminology now, micro and macro. The market presents a micro version of itself in the bigger picture as well. That's what we call the macro. So when you're looking at behavior transcends both. It applies to the micro and to the macro, to the the microscope and to the telescope. We looking through either lens, we're going to be able to recognize behavior. So when we're trying to get a finger on if the market is presenting us with overall environment and behavior, a good indication of if that's the case or not is when you see the market move into position and then remain in that position for multiple I can say candles in this instance, but I don't want you to focus on the candles. I want you to see the candles as a means to understand the example that I'm giving you for this exercise. Okay? This is not us studying candles. That's not what we're doing. We are interpreting the market itself. The candles are the after effect of whatever the market is doing. Okay? We're not studying the candles. We're studying the behavior of the market. So when you see that behavior is reflective of what we want to see present, you will notice that the behavior will lead to the market moving into a position, and then it will remain there for a duration of time. The longer that duration lasts for is an indication as to whether or not the market is ultimately in a condition. Just think about it. When you say condition, it means it's lasting for a period of time. Just like if you turn off the air condition, now it's hot as hell. You turn back on the air condition, it's keeping the air conditioned. It's keeping the air or the temperature in that room stable. That's a condition. So conditioning, or the condition in the market, is a reflection of stability in the market. That's why you hear me say slow condition. You'll hear me say dominance. These are key words that represent the same thing. And we're learning how to connect these words together into visual so that we can know what it looks like in the market. To know that, oh no, there's too much going on right now. Market, it ain't there yet. Like, just to be able to say it ain't there yet when you come on these charts is remarkable, because it means that you really understand the dynamic of the market, and all you're doing is waiting on the market to dictate. We was having this discussion earlier on YouTube today, and I said something that actually stuck with me all day after I said it. I said that the market is never wrong. That hit me after. When I got off of YouTube, that started to hit me and to resonate, because I really started to think about that. I'm like, damn, that's hard. That's a hard pill for most people to swallow. The market is never wrong? That's crazy. If you think about just the thought of that is crazy, because now what that means is that when you do something, you could be wrong if you're not in alignment with the market. So look, and this is really probably how I'm more so understanding it in my own head. I'm going to try to explain it. If the market is never wrong, then that means it's possible for you to never be wrong. But how? How can you do that? If you now know the market is never wrong, how can you never be wrong? How do you do that? What do you have to do? Woo! Look at what he said. Look what Matthew just said. Be in sync with the market. You tired of losing? Look at what Adam said. Be the market. Jesus. Otis, don't go against the grain. Here we go. See, this is the vibe right here that we on. This is why this works for us, because we're on a vibration. This is not just a strategy. Like, that's why, people know what my reaction is when somebody says that. Every time somebody says, oh, well, I'd like to learn your strategy, I kind of be wanting to punch them in the face. Like, if I saw them in person, I probably would hit them. Because I'm like, this is not a strategy. And I'm joking, but, I'm just giving you, like, the visual of how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like that. Like, I really probably would want to hit him, like, in person. Like, say strategy one more time. Like, go ahead, I dare you. Say strategy again. No, but in all seriousness, you know, because a strategy is an attempt for you to curve fit something in the market. It has nothing to do with you understanding the market. Wendell said, learn how to dance with the market music. Whatever song she's playing, dance. Yo, that's almost that's a drop mic right there. Just so y'all know. That's a mic drop right there. Come on now. Let me repeat that. Wendell said, learn how to dance with the market music. Whatever song she's playing, dance with it. Damn. Jesus. Man, oh man. All right, let me calm down. That gave me goosebumps. Let me, damn, he totally threw me off with that. Yeah, what? Walker said the Bronx beatdown's getting handed out left and right. Oh, gosh. Stacy said it is a skill. Yes, it is. Matthew said you can't fight the thing that does not lose. The market is indifferent to wins and losses. You can't defeat it. You can only join it. Come on, man. Holly said waltz into the Binarian Rhapsody. Adam told you to pump the brakes, Wendell. JT talked about he gonna dip out early. Very interesting. Otis said a strategy can be broken, but only you can break your skill. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Y'all on thin ice. Y'all better chill. Y'all better relax before y'all get the Russell Simmons. Yeah, you already know. You already see where it's headed. You already see where it's headed. It's like as soon as I said vibe, it started. Y'all started right there. All right, so right now the market is slowing down somewhat. So we're going to continue to just monitor things. We're going to monitor things. So let me get my drawing tools out. So I'm actually going to just, this doesn't mean anything yet, but I'm just doing this just so I have this on the chart. But it doesn't mean anything just yet. We're not there yet. And let me put an arrow on the chart. I guess I could put it here for now. Yeah, I'll leave it right there for right now. All right. All right, so right now we just watching. We're just monitoring the market. You guys are going to see what I'm going to do with this box. And what this is going to isolate is the amount of time that the market spends in a position that it moved into. So you'll see how this unfolds. This is a very good exercise. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is a play-by-play of this particular tool. Yes, indeed. I guess you could call this, you know what this is? This is the macro play-by-play. because we do this during the last minute of the binary in the micro. Very good, Wendell. Yo, Wendell's on point tonight. Damn. He 2 for 2. He about to get you hung up on. Adam said about those breaks. Yo, JC just left. Elvis has left the building. He don't even want to take a chance. He's like, I'm out. I ain't messing with y'all. Oh, snap. That's funny. So just watching this, you know, this is excellent examples of why we don't do anything for you know, the most part in any type of environment that's not what we're waiting for. Like this, because there's nothing to do. Like imagine if somebody's trying to trade during this type of movement right now. Like what is it that you're even doing? The price was just underneath this strike. It was just under the 2051. Now it's back above the 2051. You see what I'm saying? It's going back up to where it just came from. It just was here a minute ago. 1 minute ago, it was where it is now. It came all the way down here under the strike and then ended back up to where this strike was. What you supposed to do with that? Come on, man, the market is awesome. Look, Matthew said losing is what you're doing. Facts. That's what you're doing. Blowing your account. Because you're gonna do something silly, and then you're gonna try to revenge trade during this same type of movement. Come on, man. Remember, revenge trade is immediate trading. Like that means you lose and then you go right back into the market. It ain't like you lose and then you're like, all right, well, let me wait for MRMH now. No, you losing and then you trying to trade every binary after that. Because you trying to get back at the market. Come on, man. The market is not something that we are here to fight with. Yeah, definitely. Otis said this is when people are guessing. This is when people are guessing wrong. Shit. Adam said then the market goes to Sizzler and you eating spam. Gambling all day, man. Gambling all day. Wendell says some retards are, but then the TA crew sitting back chilling, sipping on a latte. There we go. He hit that on the head. That's exactly what we doing. Somebody went and got a latte last night. Like madly after training. They was talking about they was going to Starbucks. I forgot who it was. I was like, must be on the West Coast. Mick said Slav had a nap. Oh, when? Tonight? Yeah, I don't think I saw him in here yet. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see him in here. Yep, he's not in here tonight. Yeah, I said I thought it was quiet. Oh, man. Okay, so we just waited it out right now. I've seen him a couple of times recently on. He was hanging out on some of the YouTube lives, like a couple of weeks ago. I saw him, but he hasn't been here in a long time. But he's always lurking. And that's how it is, man. Once it's like once you get bit by the bug here, that's it. It's in your system, so you ain't gonna be able to get away. Yeah, he's okay. Yep, he's okay. Alright, let's flip this around. Yeah, definitely, and you're right about that. That is a stall. See, the way that we know the difference, like between a stall and then when the market is in this condition where it's stable, is because you see all of the movement that led up to this position right here. Like you can see it. It's a bunch of movement, and it led up to that. And oftentimes, when you see a stall like that, if the existing environment remains, at some point the stall could pop. If it doesn't do that, then you could be transitioning into a slower condition. And if the market presents a slower condition, that's when you'll see behavior also begin to adjust at some point. But it may go in and out of speed cycles during that process. So it's really just an observation thing the whole time. That's all we're doing, like, the whole time. We're learning how to observe with proficiency. And that always leaves us in a position of authority in the market because we know what the market's really doing. We can see it. Mick said, may I ask, what are the strikes that show up in red and stay for a minute at the bottom of the active ladder? You mean towards the end of the binary? Like they appear down here? Those? Is that what you're talking about, Mick? Okay. I'm going to wait for it because I want to give you the correct answer. I think that these actually turn red. But we're going to wait because whatever it does, I'm going to explain what it is. But it's basically when the new binaries are about to be replaced by the old ones. That's what you're seeing. So it's kind of like the old ones. I think that the old ones drop down, or the old ones actually X out. They become X'd out, and then the new set will come in after the fact. He said that they're duplicates. They're duplicates of the same ones from up here. If you see the duplicates underneath it, those are these options being X'd out. But usually what you'll see is that the new set of options appear. But we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it when it gets down to the end. We'll take a look. But that's a good question. So this right here is actually pretty good. What we're seeing here, this is letting us know now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 6 minutes so far. And this right here is relevant to the 2055 strike. This is relevant. And that right there could be the next move. So if this is the next movement into a new position, then this right here would be 5 minutes of duration, which is powerful information. This right, if you kind of look at what happened, this is really the first indication that we've seen so far of the market transitioning into a slower condition, slow environment. So we'll see what this does now. And even with this movement, if this remains in position, it'll still be the 2055 that's the relevant strike. It's just that the market is is above the 2055, whereas over here you can see it was below. You see that? So if this remains in position, it's in position above the 2055 level. So we should see now, Mick. Let's watch and see. Okay, look. So you see the ones that are red? You saw that? You see how they were red and then they turned green? Those were the new ones coming in. And then the old ones dropped underneath. So sometimes the strikes will change. If the strikes remain the same, it looks like it's duplicated, because it looks like the existing strikes that are there, because the levels didn't change. But there are times when you get movement in the market and then all of the strike prices change. The new ones is what you'll see appear with the X's in those last few seconds. It's the new set that you're getting in. So that's the answer to that question. Yep. All right, so as of right now, this is still in position underneath the 2055. And right now we got a good environment in place right now. See this, and this is how fast it happens. Like look at how you had all of this, then boom, market comes here, switches up, slow condition. Now we can study behavior. And now we're looking at the macro behavior as well. So the duration of how the market moves into position, that information is giving us a lot of insight into the timing. The timing of how the market has shifted into a position and how long it will remain there. So what that produces for us is more clarity on what we're likely to see, but we don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But we do know that, you know, if you run through the protocol right now, what phase are you in? Like right now, what phase would you say that you're in right now? And let me see what you guys are saying to that. Holly said phase 3. Stan, phase 3. Wendell, he said still playing Mike Tyson Punch Out with the strike. So we got Holly, Stan, Mick, Ikari is also saying phase 3. See? So You see how this tool already is just another way to know where you are. But now you're looking at it at the macro level. So you're correlating the current environment and the fact that we're in phase 3 to the macro behavior. So in other words, the market actually, moving in position and then remaining there. That's moving whole. We know that. When it does move and hold at the macro level, it's doing what you see it do right now. It gets in position relative to an actual strike. Not just at the last minute of the binary. That represents the micro. That's where you're applying phase 3 now. You're doing that on the basis of knowing that the behavior is good right now. All right, so let's look at this real quick. Let's take a closer look. So now we in phase 3 applying the parameters. So we got what, 2 micropips below. We know that we don't have distance. That's what's DQing this right now, is the distance off top. But we know that, look at how the market is actually moving. There's stability. You see, so this is just a beautiful thing all the time, to just know where you are. And that's what that backtick led to. And now it's on the other side of the strike, and that's cool, because we know that means if it continues to do that, it's shifting again. It's repositioning itself. It's moving now into another position above the strike price. And if the behavior and the environment remain, all it'll do is now just be on the other side of the strike, presenting the same behavior. So if it positions itself on the other side of the strike, then that's going to ultimately represent the MRMH if it syncs up. So you see how like we literally just are watching it unfold before our eyes. We're not trying to force our way into a trade. We're just observing what the market is doing. If the market is going to give it up, it's going to give it up. It always does. Always does. So I'm putting these arrows here just to show you the repositioning. Like where the market actually is putting itself in a new position. So that kind of was the first one, but it's still moving here. So for now, we will use that one. But technically, it actually repositioned itself above the strike price on this one. And then we just continue on with the study. Jeff said technically you can have phase 1 and 2 in the macro and the micro. Yes. Yep. Everything that we do at the small scale, we do at the large scale too. Whether you understand it or not is something different. This is easy to understand because when the market has confirmed phases 1 and 2, you'll see this. You'll see this. Like, look, we got 3 instances of it so far. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and here we go again with whatever amount of time that this will remain for. See, now, so it's remaining for less time now. Now it's moving. So each time that it moves, it repositions itself. And we're just following along to see if it's repositioning itself and then remaining, or It might just be speeding up and creating erratic behavior. And if that's the case, then, you know, we'll be back to all of this type of stuff where we just waiting it out. And that's cool. But this gave us a lot of information just in the last 15, 20 minutes. Yep, just in the last 15, 20 minutes. Wendell said, through the repetition and observation, you will understand it. Yep. Yep. That's why you understand this. The reason that you understand this is because you do it already. I'm just bringing attention to it and actually giving you more details on the actual nuance of the timing. So in other words, now you can actually look at how long the condition remained in place relative to a strike. Relative to a strike. Because you can do this even if there's no strike that it's relevant towards. You can just look at how long the market actually remained in an area for, even if it's not near a strike price. That's giving you information as well. But when you can actually correlate it to a strike price, if it continues to do that, it's only a matter of time before it is now in position relative to that strike, and then that's when our trade sets up. That's when we get permission. Then once we get permission, you know, look at how, because the market is in a slow condition, you'll notice that it will stay near a strike. So you might have one instance where the duration lasts and is underneath the strike, and then it repositions itself, and now it's above the same strike for whatever the next duration of time is for. Mind you, it's the same strike. It's just on the other side of it. So when it goes on the other side, what if it validates and that ends up being the permission slip? Because of the inherent environment that we have, is not moving far. You see what I'm saying? Like, the range is smaller. So if the range continues to remain smaller, then when it does move, all it may be doing is just repositioning itself on the other side of the strike price, which means you'll get follow-through trades as well. Like, this is incredible study material because this allows you to see and to kind of go back a little bit. Like when you're recording, you can go back to your videos and look and see when follow-through trades actually came and set up. Where did it start from and how did it lead up to them? And I guarantee you what you'll find is that the follow-through trades came not far from where the MRMH came from. It's not like it was 3 strikes away. Watch it be like maybe the next strike, or it could be the other side of the same strike. This is powerful stuff, man. It really is. Because mind you, we're doing all of this and we're just utilizing the information of the market. We're not trying to predict what the market is going to do. We don't have to do that. We're just following along with what it's doing and figuring it out. That's the best position you could ever be in. To be able to figure out what the market is doing right now. What is it leading up to? What does it mean? What strike price is relevant? Which option would be the one that's in play? Then you can see how option pricing unfolds and how it gets in sync based on the position that the market moved into and how the position holds. Man. That's it. That is it. Going with the flow. It either is or it ain't. Period. See, like here, speed. And we know, you know, it ain't nothing to do now. You just gotta wait. That's it. Just gotta wait. And when you are able to do this and this, and you know you're doing it in detail, you're doing it proficiently. What you're positioning yourself to do is to receive. Because when a trade sets up, when the timing is right, it's bang bang. That's a win. You know when the market is doing all of this, there ain't nothing to do. This is what some people love. They love to see this type of activity. Oh yeah, there's some volatility. Yeah, we're gonna get some trends, hopefully. Nah, man. You can keep your trends. Keep your trends. Mick said, compared to yesterday all the way up to the 5 o'clock break today, peep how the behavior smoothed out. Yes. Yes. Wendell said that's when your patience and discipline kicks in. Kicks in instantly. See, like when it does this is when I go back to the timer. When I was over here, I would be here. Like I'm here watching now. Starts doing this, time is, you know, I let the timer tell me when to come back. I go get some cereal or something. Go get a bowl of cereal, you know, pet the cat. Timer goes off, I come back, take a look. Market's still doing all of that. Go do something else. Go wash the dishes, you know. Now that's productive time. Because all of this time, yes, definitely Sopranos. Very good. Very good. Holly said, last night you were going to answer my question about how the MRMH and the follow-through trades can come inside of a range or out of it. You were going to comment on that. Okay. I know what you're asking. I know exactly what you're asking. When you are in the environment still, there are times when the market may increase its range, where it may not look like this. Let me come over here, because this is the perfect example to use. When you have this type of ranging, this is a very high level of stability present in the market when the market ranges like this, because it moves into these ranges like it's coming from somewhere. Look at how this was preceded by all of this movement. So you see how all this movement led up to the market positioning itself and shifting its environment and behavior. In here, the environment shifted. In here, you started to see it reflected in the behavior now. You could just look at how the candles were. You see? So, had the market remained with this behavior at a speed or in an environment that was still slow, then you would not have necessarily seen what it's doing now. It wouldn't have increased in speed. The reason that the market is doing this now is because it's moving and seeking out the next position to move to, but the speed is inherent. So anytime you have speed and the market is trying to search out the next position to move to, it looks like this. It's big moves, big swings, you see? And then ultimately it makes its way into the slow cycle again. When the market slows back down again, boom, then you see what you're beginning to see now. You see how it's transitioning back into slow environment? Like you can see the transition. And you see the move. So the move is there. Let me point it out. This would represent the move here, where it shifted into this position. But now, when you're looking at the duration of how long it's staying there, it's not staying there for long. See, this looks like a repeat of this. So you see how this tool is letting you know that, okay, now when the market slows back down in the next cycle, it's not remaining in the condition for long. It slows down, then it speeds back up again. Slows down, speeds back up again. Now we back with the speed. And that's cool. Now, there are instances where the market may not necessarily range like this. And the market may still be moving slow, but have more movement in it. And these are times where you see a trade set up, validate, and produce MRMH. It won't necessarily look like this. It will look more like actual movement that took place during a time when the environment was slow. But that's the drip drip. That's the velocity. The velocity will produce what you're talking about, Holly. Velocity will create an MRMH outside of a range, where it's actually on the move. And I know that that's what you mean. Where the movement, it moves in position relative to the strike, and then it produces the MRMH. Like, I understand that. And that's the difference. Yep, that's the difference. Very good. She says she got it. Yep. The drip drip. Exactly. See, all of this is what the market does. So it's not like it ain't relevant, or one is better than the other. We do all of it. If the MRMH comes, it could be the drip drip, or it can be within the range. Jeff says, would you say it's a different market condition or a different drip? It is a different overall condition. Or no, let me not say that. I'm sorry. No, it's not different. It's a different perspective of the slow market condition that we always want to have. It's more so where one, the faucet is off and there's just a slow drip, and then the other one is like you turn the faucet up a little bit, where it's like drip, 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 like that. Yes, a different drip. And yeah, so actually, yeah, you actually said it at the end. So yeah, you got it. It is a different drip, correct. Yep. Mick said transition can happen in any condition, got to be there to catch it. Yes. And no matter what, like, every tool that we use is going to catch it. So it's not like you can miss it. You're not going to miss it. You are not going to miss it. Yeah, you don't want the drip to turn into a pour. You don't want it to start pouring on you. Yeah, that is a fact. So if this one holds longer than 2 minutes, then you see that it's transitioning. It's still it ain't doing it yet. It's still 2. So you see that that's kind of the third time it did 2. You see that? It's doing 2 and then it moves. So the duration is 2 minutes and then it's moving. We trying to see it break this duration and last longer now. That's giving us a lot of information once it does that. Ooh, yeah. That's it. Mick said it shows how stability creates the profitable timing. Yes, sir. That's a close one, Mick. That's a close one, my man. You got one more, and then it's Fruity Pebbles time. Holly said we fall from a stool with no stability. Just said, what was that number back in the day to redial from home phones? Oh, what was it? Star 76? Star some, right? Or pound some. I know what you're talking about. Or star 69. Was it star 69? Yeah, star 69. That's how you know we old. Yes, sir. Oh, it starts 67? One of them stars. And then one of them was to block your number. Remember you can unblock your number? You press something to unblock it. We've been through so much. It's crazy. Star 82. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yep. The way to decline the call, leave your phone off the hook. That is a fact. Alright, so we're going to see what this one does. Let's see what a doozy here. Another beautiful thing too, like about this right here. See, the timer brings you back. So you could have done all of this, everything that you see me do so far, as just doing your study. This is with the timer, because look at the timing of where these were actually setting up at. They were setting up towards the end of the binaries. coincidentally. This one too, timer would have brought you back right here. Then you could have boxed this in. You see that? So we're going to see if this one maintains. Now, here's an example of if this maintains stability here, this right here could potentially set up MRMH if the pricing remains. Not to say that that's going to be the case, because right now it doesn't look like it. Looks like the pricing is going to go out, so it's out of sync. But if it were to do it, like if you got the 5+1 and then your pricing was there, you would see this become MRMH. That fast. See, and it's kind of doing it. So, look. So that dismisses it right there, that movement. So all this ultimately ended up becoming was the 3. Now it held for 3 minutes, basically. The position held for 3 minutes. Now it's on the move again, and it's on the move at the end of the binary. So now you would be looking at your micro to look and see what this does as far as holding. And then that just will give further indication as to the behavior still being present. And then you just continue on. Just rinse and repeat. So this is how you can utilize this tool in particular to isolate when the market positions itself relative to a strike price, and when it creates a range within the area of the strike price. Like on that one, you can see that that's jerk. You see, so this one was jerky. Now you might see speed come back in. You know, like a number of things can happen now, but it's just more the same. You just saw in that one actually held longer than the previous 3 ones. That's an indication. So you continue to observe, you know, the next one that positions itself. If that one holds for longer, it could be the same type of scenario where it could potentially turn into MRMH on that one. So it really doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what tool that you choose to utilize. All of them work and will ultimately bring you to the permission slip once the market decides to give it to us. So it doesn't even matter which one you choose to use. But being able to navigate with any of them is just awesome. Because the bottom line is that we're waiting on the market. Remember, the market is never wrong. And we can't beat the market, so we're going to join it. That's solid right there. That's solid. Make the frequency of the sellers on the strike and play lowers the option price in. Would more frequency of sell orders indicate a reduction in the indicative value? No. Because liquidity does not influence the indicative. Liquidity is what you see when the indicative has stability. Does that make sense? It's not the other way around. The market dictates. So liquidity on option pricing has no effect on the market. It's the after effect of whatever the market is doing at the time. The market is either influencing it, or if there's stability in the market, you can see the liquidity with more clarity. Right, liquidity is on the platform. Bingo. You guys are pretty good, man. I must say, you guys are very good. Yes. He said, as Fred Sanford would say, we're not going to be a big dummy. Exactly. You big dummy. Elizabeth. That makes me want to watch Fred Sanford now. just for that. Thanks, Wendell. And what's funny is it's probably on somewhere, too. It's probably on TV Land. He gives me the thumbs up. Oh, man. All right. So this is pretty good for tonight. Pretty good. So tomorrow I'm going to go into it again. And we'll talk more also tomorrow about Project 21. All right, so new students, make sure that you watch videos number 336, 396, and number 301. Once you get to 301, you need to have that training on repeat in your earbuds. If you don't have earbuds yet, you need to get some. Okay, put the earbuds in your ear all day at some point. You know, whenever you can. Tonight's training should be available within a half hour or so. We'll be back on training tomorrow night, same time, same place, God willing. And I will check you guys out in the group chat momentarily. If you have questions and concerns, you can always post them in the group chat. The group chat is available 24/7. That is a resource for you. Make sure that you take advantage of it. Okay? You got questions, post them in there. And I'll see you guys momentarily. All right? And see you on training mañana. Everybody have an awesome night. Love, peace, and soul. Good night.